Welcome back and happy Tuesday, turkeys. How long have we known each other?
We've known each other for 2 decades.
I am not apologizing for who I am or what I like or the people that I love.
How do I be a wife? How do I be a mom? And how do I be myself and all of that? You didn't see that coming, did you? I'm feeling a little weird today. Is Mercury in retrograde?
Oh my God.
What do they say? Is Mercury in Gatorade or something?
Oh yeah, is my microwave in Gatorade? I don't know. Well, if you can't guess, people, we're talking about astrology, keeping in our theme of October witchy, Halloweeny celebration vibes. So whether you think this is high level nonsense or whether you plan your life by your astrology chart, I don't know anything about any of it. But Kayla found a website and Kayla knows some things, so I'm basically going to let her explain what she knows. But I plugged in my birth information, including my location and my time. And from what I already started looking through, it's quite accurate.
Wildly accurate. Wildly.
So I'm excited to hear yours because, the skeptic in me is like, okay, well, did they just make it general enough that it fits everybody? So I'm excited to hear yours and then see, because we definitely have things we have in common and we definitely have personality traits that are different. So I'm so excited. This is so fun and dumb and not dumb and everything.
I know. It's one of those things where, when you pick up the newspaper and they have the newspaper, who does that? I don't know. But some people will have daily horoscopes. I think those are a far, far reach because they're like, your husband will walk in the door today and you won't even know it until 5 years later. So that's stupid. But the actual astrology piece of this is interesting. Now, most people know their sun sign, which is, if you're born between these dates, you are a Libra or you're a Pisces or you're a Capricorn, blah, blah, blah. Some people may feel as though that doesn't encapsulate them fully because there's actually more to it than just your quote unquote zodiac sign. So the top three that are the most important, and we can go through these and then maybe some more because it basically just tells you everything. But the sun sign is all about what you are, okay? Your moon sign represents your emotional facet, and your rising sign is all about how you are perceived by others. So it's like your sun sign is who you are, generally. Your moon sign represents emotional piece, and then rising is how you're perceived by others. So I thought that was interesting. So you have to know your location and your birth time to be able to see the sun, moon, and rising and which house you lie in. And this star chart, or whatever you want to call it, like apparently dictates every aspect of who you potentially could flourish into. Now, my one thing I wonder before we jump into this, if you are induced for a non-emergency, or say the doctor literally yanks the baby out, whatever that is, whatever's kind of manipulating the time of that child's birth, is this changing my life because the doctor yanked me out a couple minutes earlier? Or was it already baked into my stars? That's my one thing I've always questioned with the intervention of doctors and hospitals, whether it's necessary or not. Does this affect who I am, or is it already baked in? Isn't that weird?
Yes. I guess I lean more toward this was how it was meant to happen.
I'm with you there. Mm-hmm.
But that is really interesting. What if you pulled somebody into another personality type?
So crazy.
Hey, turkeys, real quick, we want to tell you about our fun new free craft corner. Every quarter, in line with the equinox or solstice, we are going to send out new farts and crafts projects. You can find the link in the show notes. Just drop us your email. We promise not to spam you, but we'd love for you to join us. Now back to the show.
Oh, so before we did this, did you know your just normal zodiac sign? You do. You did.
Well, I'm confused because I thought I was a Sagittarius my whole life.
What does it say your sun is?
Not that.
Really?
It says my sun is Scorpio.
Only laughing because it's crazy that you have thought differently.
But I'm confused. I'm on the twinge.
Oh.
Because if I look up what's it called? Astrology sign
Mm-hmm.
for November 22nd, It says Sagittarius.
Mm-hmm. And what is this saying?
My sun is in Scorpio.
Interesting. This does say if you were born on your birthday, which I don't know if you want people to know, you are a Sagittarius with a Scorpio influence. But that's interesting.
It must be like on the fringe.
Sagittarius dates are November.
It's fine.
Sagittarius starts literally on your birthday. And because you were born at 1 a.m., I wonder if that's the difference.
I think it must be.
Weird. Your whole life's been a lie already.
Yeah, I know.
Well, maybe. That's crazy.
Let me just start off because, like I said, I don't know anything about any of this. So I didn't even realize that all of that was wrong. Let me start off by saying that I clicked on the description of your sun being in Scorpio, and this was the first sentence. People born under this sign are intense. I'm not crying. I'm having allergies. But I peed my pants. My therapist one time was like, you're very intense. So apparently my therapist and the stars in myself would all agree that I'm rather intense. I was sold from that moment moving forward.
I mean, once you say Scorpio, that's a fire sign. I can totally imagine it. Now, I'm a Libra, which is an air sign, I believe. And my first sentence is, this sign likes things to be balanced, which tracks with the other personality test that I've taken where I'm harmony and, I'm the one that's always pulling people together and trying to regulate everything.
It's so funny. I didn't know Scorpio was a fire sign. I think Jason is a water. He's the twins.
Pisces?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Anyway.
That's funny.
Anyway, okay. Should we go back and forth? Well, here. Okay, you just explained. So the sun is what is that? It's your overall personality?
Yeah, sun is who you are. Moon is your emotional side, and rising is how you're perceived by others. Okay. So let's start with those three. But yeah, let's stick in the sun a little bit. Is there anything else that you saw in Scorpio that was interesting? I think this is so funny.
I'm peeing myself. So the intense one, obviously, peed myself. Then the next quote that I wrote down was that they are fully serious in their strive to learn about others.
Yes, Miss Nosy.
Was I not just talking about how I am the nosiest motherfucker I know and how I love nothing more than just peeping into people's lives?
That is so funny. Gosh, that tracks.
Like my obsession with, sorry, I just heard a really weird bird outside. My obsession with watching Sister Wives and 90 Day Fiance and just people. Anyway, then it says, when they speak, there's no fluff, which also cracked me up. Scorpios are associated with beginnings and endings, and they like both.
Totally.
Who but me loves a good birth and death story? Did find one thing that was incorrect because they said that they live in black and white and gray is rare, which I guess maybe there are things that I'm very black and white about, but I do also find gray areas in everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then this made me laugh. They are extremely curious people, which makes them great investigators, which was literally my job for 5 years.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And then, unlike other water signs, these people do not like to show their emotions. They do tend to be emotional, but they just keep it secretive and undercover.
Kaylee, I may have misspoke. I wonder if Scorpio is a water sign. For some reason, I thought it was a fire sign, but maybe it is water.
Oh, that's funny, because then Jason and I would both be water babies. Anyway, how funny is that?
That's so spot on. See, isn't this crazy? Yes. Because, yes, it's general, but if that was said about mine, I wouldn't really jive with that as much. Whereas, as mine, you shall see how funny this is. Okay. They try to do, so this is, I'm a Libra for everyone, if you missed it. Libras try to do everything in their power to maintain peace and harmony, which makes them very indecisive. I feel called out. They are good at strategizing, organizing groups, and getting projects done. Also, totally. Libra is ruled by Venus, so we like to indulge in artistic and beautiful things. Tracks. Yep, I am an air sign.
You have a little tinge of bougie when you want it.
I have a tinge of boozy. bougie, and I like artistic things. Um, the other thing that I saw, where'd it go? Shoot. This basically says overall, though, a Libra's greatest strength is their natural born fairness and drive for peace and harmony. So that is just too funny to me because I grew up in a lot of situations where I was that person and I didn't even realize it. And now it totally tracks with just my everyday life. So, and I'm so indecisive. Oh, I hate it.
Really funny. That's
Isn't that
really,
great?
really, really funny. Okay. Okay, so should we move to the moon?
Yes. So this is to reminder, this is your emotional facet, is what this says.
I want to also tell people that I realized I was born under the full moon and I've never been so happy in my whole life.
So, yes, Kaylia, you're a little
I thought it
witchy.
was so fun.
Uh-huh.
This also was the thing that mattered for time because when I first looked it up, the actual date of my birth, like if I had been born in the nighttime of that date, it would have been, I forget, waxing gibbous anyway. But because I was born and it was still the moon from the 21st because it was 1 a.m., it was a full moon.
Crazy. I love that you thought enough about that to look that up correctly. But not your actual sign all these years.
Why? Who
Well,
knew?
that's crazy that you were literally the start date. So it makes sense that you could be both. Yeah.
I should look up the Sagittarius one description later because I bet there's some things that I could identify with.
I agree. What is your moon in?
My moon is in Gemini.
My moon is in Gemini.
Oh, that's so cute. Wait, this is our
Emotional.
The quote I wrote down was the moon sign influences the presentation of your sun.
Oh,
and affects how strong your sun is expressed.
Yes. So this is like if you had a tree and that's your sun. I don't know where this analogy is coming from. Okay. But you have to have a stick to hold it up in place. It'll influence it a bit. And it like, I feel like it, well, that was a horrible analogy. Let's just move on.
No, I liked it when you're planting because you just planted a bunch of new trees in your yard. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here were the couple of quotes that I wrote down that made me laugh, and these make sense because I can see both of us being this way. So this sign gains emotional fulfillment when they feel intellectually stimulated, which is basically everything we've been doing here, even though some people might argue that it's not intellectually stimulating information / content. This sign tends to socialize with others and search for interesting information, which definitely goes back to my nosy behaviors. And then they crave freedom, communication, and new ideas, which I think might be a pretty fair summary of myself.
Yes. You know, I'm wondering if, no, yeah, this is pretty much the same thing. There was a couple of things that are funny because they stood out to me a little differently. I mean, it's the same thing, moon and Gemini, but Gemini moons have changing, adaptable emotions, which also tracks because I feel like we're both a little bit of chameleons and mirrors with other people's and their emotions. And the last thing that you didn't touch on, which I've lost, is poo. Gemini moons may prefer to talk about their feelings rather than actually experience them, which I think is funny. Oh, and they keep things on the positive side, staying versatile and adventurous. So I think that's totally accurate from what I see. It's so funny that we both have a moon in Gemini.
I know, I love that.
Oh my God. So what's your rising? Or I guess Virgo. I don't know why I said. So yeah, rising is your Virgo rising or ascendant sign. So this is the last one. That's how you're perceived, apparently. So this says the ascendant is known as the mask one wears when meeting new people.
Wait, so it's your ascending sign? Mine's Virgo. Yours also? Oh, that's why I was getting confused because I was like, wait, is the category Virgo ascendant or is it that my ascendant is Virgo?
You're right. Yeah, that's my bad. I confused the people. Sorry, it's your rising sign, which mine also happens to be Virgo. That's crazy.
That's so funny.
This is why we're such good friends.
Right?
We're like soulmates, but non-sexually.
I did. This made me laugh. The mask one, yeah, what you said, the mask that one wears when meeting new people. So the quote that I wrote down was understated in their appearance and mannerisms, which maybe doesn't sound real to people listening, but it is definitely true when I, like in my professional life or I'm around people that I don't know, I tend to dress very plain and monochromatic colors. And even just me like covering up my tattoos and putting my hair up, I don't know. I just try to be very like inconspicuous in those new settings and kind of just like hang back and get the lay of the land. Then they also said one of their biggest attributes is body mindfulness. So they are very sensitive to any discomfort in the body, which was really interesting because I do feel like I get overly invested in other people's emotional states. And then it said that they're worried about their physical well-being. So they tend to enjoy working out, and then they also tend to be like yoga Pilates people.
That's funny. That's funny. See,
nailed it.
And it's so because these are the stability pillars to your sun, I feel as though some things may resonate more with you and some things resonate more with me. So it's funny because those two things I do agree with, but the one that stood out to me the most for me personally is they are slightly timid individuals who tend to analyze things around them before they warm up to circumstances and individuals, which tracks because I hate change. And also, see, this is where I don't think you're so much that way unless you're in a certain situation. But if you and me went out and met a group of people, you would be the one to start the conversation and be the quote unquote outgoing one. And I would just sit there like, I'm just taking it all in. I don't really have much to say. But then when you get to know me and I warm up, then it's a lot of different stories. So
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I still think it's accurate that I'm not timid as in like not being outgoing, but I'm timid about revealing myself.
That's a good way to put it. Okay, I like that.
Because I also notice this, and it's something that annoys me about myself sometimes, but I will kind of go into a performance mode where I just sort of have standby conversational topics or standby stories, and none of them are emotionally in depth. And so I'll kind of feel out the room and take temperatures with my set list, if you will. And then once I feel like I can kind of mesh with the people that are there or get a read on it, then I'll decide if my actual personality is going to come out or not.
I can totally see that. That's crazy. And you mentioned that the very sensitive to discomfort in the body. Right above that, it says this rising sign is body mindfulness, which is funny because we've talked about a lot about this off and online, but trying to be aware of our actual bodies, because if something feels off, we're super attuned to that, which is interesting. Cray.
You should see me when I smell a bad smell. My poor husband just wants to sometimes use a chemical to clean something or put something, there are times with life where you need to use chemicals, especially outside or fixing things or gas. There's so many smells, but there's so many things that don't bother him. And I will just come apart. And then I fixate on it. This is not a good quality, but it is something that I definitely do.
Oh man. So I think we should put the link into this website that we use because there's literally, it goes through every single planet. Now I think we should jump to the house if you're cool with that. So in order to know your house, you have to know your time of birth and your place of birth. I am not as familiar with the houses. Do you want me to read off what the description is, or did you take away what the meaning was without this website's words? Because I don't really understand this as much.
I did not get into this as far. So also I don't understand why there's so many houses and numbers. Oh, your sun, they go back to sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars. Okay.
Yes. And I believe there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think there's many houses as, I could be wrong. Basically, when you look at the chart, it's like divvied up almost like a clock. So wherever you fall into your certain house, and that changes the path of your life. So this says the planets represent energies and cosmic forces that can be utilized in different ways. They are like actors in a play. House represents the different spheres of life where these energies can be and are brought to bear, for better or for worse. So If the planets are an actor in a play, then the houses represent the various settings in which the actors will play out their roles. Interesting. So I still don't know what
So
that means,
true.
but we can read through our sun house.
Yeah, right. This is fun. So my sun house is in 3.
Okay, different than mine. I'm ready to hear it.
So, okay. Apparently, the 3rd house represents communication, intellect, and your immediate surroundings. It reveals your conscious mind, how you interpret and receive communicated information. Apparently, planets in this sign / house affect your early education, your relationships to things like neighbors and siblings, like your early life relationships.
Interesting.
So this says the sun rules your personality, ego, self-esteem, leadership, public recognition. So that should be static, right?
Mm-hmm.
For you, because we're talking about the sun. Okay.
Yes.
So people with the sun in the 3rd house have incredibly active minds, are proud of their intelligence and communication skills. So far, we're dinging the bells. Get bored easily and need constant intellectual stimulation. This is so funny. This is so funny because I literally have said that I like weightlifting because I get bored if I have to do the same activity more than 5 minutes. Have a thirst for knowledge, are very good at learning new things, probably excelled early on in school, and have a tendency to gossip.
That's
This is
funny.
embarrassingly accurate.
Hey, for good or for worse, like it said, that is funny.
Oh my God.
Okay, so your house was in 3.
Mhm.
Okay. My sun is in house 1,
Oh.
which represents the self. I'm not sure how I feel about this. It signifies appearance, ego, first impressions, the physical body, personality, self-image, and beginnings. So that's a little egotistical of me, but I'll keep reading. People with the sun in the 1st house have a strong presence, put great value into the way they are perceived, accurate, express themselves in a confident, dynamic way, are good at concealing their insecurities. Okay. Make great leaders due to their strong determination and willpower, may feel very self-conscious because they care a lot about their image. Wow. Have a strong will to take control of their life and choose their own path, strive to achieve inner authenticity, can recognize and seize opportunities, and can make a lasting impression on others. Very interesting.
This is. We're obviously going to link this website in the show notes, but I feel like I should just say their name out loud. It's called justastrologythings.com.
There's a lot out there, and you could, compare and contrast. A lot of them are free. Some of them are going to ask for your email or for you to pay. But this website really does break it down nicely, because there are some websites that there's just too much information all over the place. So, and we're only scratching the surface on this stuff. So there's a lot in here.
Okay, let's do our moon house.
Okay.
This is so fun. I'm going to make all my family do this later.
Are you talking about the planetary aspects?
What?
Oh, your moon house. I'm sorry. Yep. Next in line.
Okay.
Sorry.
So my moon is in the 9th house.
Okay.
Which apparently the 9th house deals with your knowledge, philosophy, long distance travel, and the law. I can't wait to see it. I didn't read the house stuff in advance. So that's what the 9th house is going to dictate. So let's see what my moon, and your moon rules your emotions, instincts, your home, maternal matters, and the past. This is going to be a loaded one. So people with moon in the 9th house find emotional comfort within travel, learning, and philosophical beliefs. This tracks for me. I have a rule that I need to leave the country every 5 to 10 years or I get itchy. Are great teachers because they feel personally invested in the subjects they're interested in. I suppose that would be true if it were something I was interested in, which now that I think about it, how many times am I trying to sell people on the thing that I'm into this week? Yearn to break free from daily life. I'm feeling a little overly called out. Are constantly searching for something bigger and better and feel very restless with life and struggle with appreciating things in the present. That feels rude. I can see how this might be true, but I think that might be my tendency, but I think that I have gotten really good at appreciating the present moment because of my job and life experiences and such.
Good. I love that. Okay, this is interesting. My moon house is in the 10th house, which rules your career, social standing, and life path. Tracks. Okay. So, yeah, public image and career success. All right, this is funny. So, we value career success more than anything. Find emotional stability within their social status and, again, career success. Care a lot about what others think about them. Okay, I really need to work on this, I guess. Feel comfortable in the public eye. I don't know about that one. Unless I know what I'm talking about, then yes. But may go through many career changes. I am also scared of change, so I'm not sure about that one. But again, may succeed in a career that relates to, women, the public, or change. I did want to be an advocate one day, but that didn't work out like I wanted to. That's weird. I do think it's funny that this is all about career, social standing, and life path, though. Interesting.
A plus interesting. Are we supposed to look at planetary aspects next?
Yeah, let's do it
That's
real
the
quick.
third facet.
I don't really understand what this is at all, to be honest.
I don't either. It says that the planetary aspects show how these energies and forces tend to act and react with one another. Is your sun? My sun is discordant to the moon.
Me too, which I'm feeling like, what is it blending with?
This says when the sun is in a challenging aspect with the moon in an astrological chart, it can create conflict between the person's ego and their emotional nature. This combination can make the individual prone to mood swings or emotional instability and may lead to conflicts with others. People with this aspect may benefit from learning to balance their emotions with their sense of self and from practicing self-care and emotional awareness. Well, if that doesn't describe me pre and post therapy, I don't know what does.
That's interesting. Yeah, mine says the same thing. I do think it'd be really funny, real quick, just to do a quick compatibility thing, because now I want to see where we are at. So I'm a Libra, and now we have found out that you are a Scorpio, which is so funny.
That's so weird.
Oh, wow. Well, you know what? We're beating the odds, Kaylee, because we have a 55% overall compatibility score. This is where I don't love people taking advantage of the compatibility things. And they're like, if I'm a Libra, I can only marry so-and-so. I think that's stupid, to be honest. But
right.
It confirms the whole thing that we've discussed today, is because you're not just a Scorpio. You're Scorpio with this moon sign and this, Virgo sign and blah, 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 blah. So
this is so interesting. I'm going to just real quick read a couple of the other quotes that I thought were funny from my other planets, and then we'll close out for today. Oh, my Mercury is in Sagittarius. And apparently
there you go.
Mercury rules your expression and communication. So I just thought this was funny because it says they champion freedom of thought, which is literally the hill that I will die on. Optimistic and look to the future, have big ideals, and mean well, which I think describes how I feel about myself. And then here's the paragraph that made me dead. Defends freedom and justice, even though their personal definitions of each may be confusing. They have various principles they promote and love to discuss them with others.
That's funny and very true.
So great. And then it kind of talked about like these people are very optimistic, which I do think is true. I do also think some of my optimism has been tampered. Although I think at the end of the day, I still believe in like the good of the universe and of people, despite my skepticism of people.
I agree. So are you a believer now in astrological charts?
I mean, it's so fun.
It is so fun.
I can't wait to do Jason's.
I know. I wonder how people studied this. Where did this information stem from? We almost need to do like a history of astrology at some point, because how did we all just agree that these are the things? I mean, there's a lot more to it, and we are not the experts, but I just find it very interesting. And it kind of, like with any personality test or quiz, not comparing these, but it's just another way to evaluate yourself and maybe understand, well, I am kind of like that. And whether you kind of just brings awareness, and that way you can change it or love it or disagree with it, and that's fine too.
Yeah. I mean, if nothing else, even just reading these descriptions and then thinking about yourself and the way that you do things is just a good exercise, even if
Yeah.
you think it's all hogwash.
Yep. Too funny.
This was so fun. Oh, my family members are going to be real sick of me talking about the planets. I can't wait. This is so great. Okay, everybody, if you're bored and you want to check this out, like we said, it's justastrologythings.com. We will put their little linkadoodle in our, what's it called, in our show notes so that you can check it out. I don't know. I feel like basically that's just my tip for the week is you should go in and you should do it and then tell everybody else to do it and then report back and let us know if it was accurate or stupid or if we missed something.
Yes.
I need to go in and read the rest of my planets though.
I know there's so much. I would also say if you are starting to get into this and you do a compatibility thing, when you start dating, don't ask what their sign is to start off with.
Oh yeah.
Just let it be.
Now that I learned that a simple Google of my sign could be incorrect.
So crazy. Yeah, you really need the time.
I wonder I guess if I would have been born in like 11 p.m. On that date, then it would have flipped me over.
Because if 1 a.m. is your time, which time is the stars going by? What if it's, 2 hours before or 2 hours early?
Oh, this is like what's happening in the sky above me where I was.
Yeah, so...
Oh, why did I not put that together until this moment? All right, well, this has been so fun. Everybody, go check it out. It's A+ entertainment. And I love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Surprised my sign said you're always dehydrated.